Yarn enabling. Y'all, I'm gonna go on record and say I am not one to be influenced by sales. I'm not influenced by fear of missing out on the greatest deal. I don't really deal in a lot of fear. At least I try not to. So when I see people talk about great deals on yarn that they're getting, my first thought is, well, is this something that I want? Do I want to participate in this? Do I have the funds, number two, and will I get long-term joy out of it? So sometimes this means that I am so late to get on a sale that things will just be gone before I can even get to it. And that's always reassuring because it's like, oh, I didn't actually need it anyway. It's all right. I have plenty of yarn. I will be fine. But sometimes there are sales that you just can't get out of your head. And on the rare occasion that when you actually go to the website and you fill up your cart and then you think, okay, I'm just going to sleep on it. I'm not going to worry about it. And then the next day it's still there and you're like, actually, I know what pattern I would make out of that. Well, then here you go. The stars aligned. And I guess I will say it. I was yarn enabled. Thank you to Crystal over at Bag O' Day Crochet for alerting me to this particular deal. There were some coupon codes involved. There were some bulk orders involved. And you'll see it's not a big order. I only spent about $50, but it was free shipping and it was some pretty good deals. So the yarn that I'm talking about came from JoAnn's, and at the time of recording, I think JoAnn's is still having their Yarnormous clearance sale thing. As I understand it, JoAnn's is having some financial difficulties as a company, but it seems like one of the strategies that they're using is trying to offload their warehouses into their stores. So it seems that these big, huge sales might be a way of them trying to clear out some warehouses so that they can close those and they don't have like the financial burden of keeping those warehouses operable and the staffing those and that kind of thing. We'll see. That's just my theory. But in the meantime, plenty of us, I guess, are benefiting from some pretty good deals on some good yarns. So I do have a JoAnn's pretty close to me, and it is a good place to go if I need a particular skein of something from a big box retailer. That is one of the closer places to me. But the reason that I ordered online was because that's where you could get the 3-packs. And that was a big part of the deal. Now, my yarn took a little bit to get here because we had some snow days. But I'm really pleased with what I got. So let me just go ahead and get into it and I'll tell you more as I go. So the first thing that I got was wool ease. Good old wool ease. You cannot go wrong with wool ease. So wool ease is Lion brand and it is 80% acrylic and it is 20% wool. And it comes in so many wonderful different colors. I've used it for years. I've enjoyed it for years. It was one of those yarns that I started using when I first graduated from crochet thread to my trusty size J 6.0 millimeter crochet hook. And when I started making things in college, I would take a ball of wool ease and I came up with my own pattern and I could make a scarf out of one ball. And they were so beautiful. I remember giving them away to friends, making them for friends in class and having a wonderful time. By the way, those of you who saw my short of 3 yarny truths and a lie, the yarny truth was that I actually did have to sit with the dean for crocheting in class in college. Anyway, that's a long story to go with a little bit of wool ease. Wool ease comes in balls that are 3 ounces or 85 grams, 197 yards or about 180 meters. And it is a size 4, machine washable and dryable, which is also super wonderful. And this one was made in Turkey. I got the color linen, which is a very nice neutral color, as you can see in all the neutrals in my background. And I got it in a 3-pack. And I got 3 3-packs. So that's a sweater. Plain and simple. That is a sweater. So with all the snow and all this winter weather, I'm realizing that my winter wardrobe is not what I want it to be. So when I first heard about this sale from Crystal, I immediately started looking at some sweater patterns and I thought, okay, how much am I going to need to make a sweater? Is this something that I would enjoy? And then I pondered colors and I pondered colors and I ended up just doing the linen color because that'll be a good neutral. I'll be able to add all kinds of fun accessories on top of that, as you do. And yeah, so sweater number 1. Another yarn that Crystal highlighted as one of her favorites, but actually one that I'd never worked with before, was another Lion brand yarn, was Scarfy yarn. And these, also coming in the 3-packs, was going to be a really good deal. So that's what I ended up doing. I got 2 of the 3 packs of Scarfy. The first one was in the color pink and silver, and the other was in the colorway sea foam and clay. And so what my thought was to take these 6 balls of yarn and to make another sweater. But instead of that nice neutral like the linen was, this will have a little bit of that gentle color. And I thought alternating between these two would give kind of a sunset feel, would kind of feel like well, like some sea foam or some gentle pink, some silvery days. So these are some of the colors that I actually want to have more of in my life. I realized that some of these pastels that are anchored a little bit in some of the grays actually make my heart really happy. So I thought if I'm going to try out any kind of Scarfy, let it at least be in colors that I'm going to enjoy. And that's also going to push me a little bit and maybe expand the repertoire of my wardrobe. So let me tell you a little bit about Scarfy in case you don't know. I might be the last person, the last crocheter on YouTube to use Scarfy, but there you go. It comes in 5.3 ounces or 150 grams, 213 yards or 285 meters. It is 78% acrylic, 22% wool, machine wash, cool, lay flat to dry, and it's considered a bulky size, and it recommends a size K or a 6.5 millimeter hook. So it is a roving style yarn, which is something that I have kind of mixed feelings about, but I thought, you know what? Let's just go with it. Let's see what happens. I think for this one, I'd like to do like a wrap style sweater. We'll see if that plays out because I have a long time to think about it. It takes me a while to make things, so it'll definitely take me a while and decide which sweater comes when. But getting the 6 of these and then getting the 9 of those, that gave me 15 balls of yarn for about $50 or 2 sweaters worth. And to have that fiber content of the acrylic and wool together, first of all, I know that the wool is going to help things block and kind of relax down a little bit more. Also with that wool, it'll keep it a little extra warm and toasty, which is just what I need for the type of weather that we have. Middle Tennessee, we get winter in January and February more so than in December. So hopefully this time next year, I will have several sweaters to choose from, not just my little sweater vests and head wraps and things of that nature. So that is it. That is my little yarn haul from Lion brand via JoAnn's. So let me know in the comments below, do you find it really hard to say no to a good yarn deal, or do you feel kind of immune to that fear of missing out? Thank you so much for listening to me ramble and wax poetic about some yarn and being enabled. This probably won't happen very often. I say that every time I open up yarn, but there you go. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you to subscribers, old and new. Certainly do appreciate you. Thank you to everyone who likes and shares and comments and subscribes, all that kind of YouTube-y stuff. And if I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so much for listening this long. I really do appreciate you, and I do hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.